Would you like your bass drum to deliver that deep, low-end power without overwhelming the mix? Stick around, because in this video, I'll reveal my perspective on getting that low, booming bass drum sound while keeping it perfectly controlled for any playing situation. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's begin. The bass drum is the heartbeat of your kit, but achieving the perfect low-end thump can be a challenge. Too much boom and you drown out the band. Too little and you lose that powerful presence. In this video, I'll walk you through my tried and true method for dialing in the perfect bass drum sound. Whether you're in the studio, on stage, or just jamming at home, these tips will help you strike the perfect balance. But before we begin, as with everything drumming, your own experimentation and experience is what really leads you to that perfect sweet spot. Nothing I or anyone else tells you will count more than your own experience as you play around with settings to find your own perfect sound. Size matters. First, let's talk about size. Larger bass drums naturally produce more boom, but they can be harder to control. I've personally stuck to 20-inch and 22-inch bass drums because they offer plenty of depth without an overwhelming ring and lack of control. The key to controlling the boom lies in a two-way approach consisting of tuning and dampening. You should always start by tuning your drum. Then tune your resonant head slightly tighter than your batter head. This creates what I like to call a bend in the sound, a subtle dip in tone that adds depth without excessive sustain. The tighter resonant head helps to slow down any booming, to some degree at least. Once you've dialed in the tone you like, dampen the batter head heavily. This allows you to clearly hear the resonant head's tone. From there, adjust the resonant head's tuning until you achieve the perfect balance of tone and boom. But bear in mind that the heavy damping was simply to help set the resonant head tension to suit your needs. After tuning the resonant head, gradually reduce the batter head's dampening. This step is crucial. It's where you'll find the sweet spot between too much ring and a controlled, punchy sound. If you want even more boom, reduce dampening on both heads incrementally until you get the desired resonance. Something to note here is that presuming you are using a soft pillow for your dampening, you may want to adjust it lengthways so that each end is touching one of the drum heads. You may only need a slight dampening on the resonant head and slightly more on the batter head. Over the years, I found the approach of removing the cushion slightly away from the head helped to control the depth and level of boom that I liked. My sound was always a deep thud with a slight boom. Of course, you can alter these ideas to suit your own needs until you get your desired sound. For additional control, consider cutting a hole in the resonant head. Of course, I presumed that you had already done that to enable you to shift the soft pillow away from or onto the drum heads. Notice that I say soft pillow. I found the heavier duck and down type pillows to be too harsh for my taste. You should try a variety of materials for yourself. The hole allows for better mic placement and helps manage the boom using the pillows. Inside the drum, as suggested, use some light dampening materials like pillows or foam, and choose heads with built-in dampening elements or double-ply designs like Evans Blue or Remo pinstripe heads. Evans Blue drum heads were always too heavy for my preference. I found the pinstripes to cut through much better, and they also had some depth to them. Finally, remember that experimentation is key. Every drum and room is different, so take the time to find what works for your specific setup and preferences. I found my personal sweet spot with a 20x20 bass drum. It gives me all the bend, depth and boom that I like, without overwhelming the mix. Now that you've got the tools to create the perfect low-end bass drum sound, let's dive into another piece of the puzzle: drum shell materials. Curious about how wooden, steel and synthetic shells impact your sound? Click on the video on your screen to learn more, and I'll see you there.